Have you ever felt like you're doing everything, yet achieving nothing? You wake up early, you work late, you have the talent, the ambition, the drive, you're working harder than everyone around you, but somehow the results just aren't showing up. Your business idea sits untouched while you scroll through social media, comparing yourself to others. Your fitness goals fade while you jump from one workout trend to another. Your creative dreams gather dust while you chase every opportunity that comes your way. In a world designed to distract us, we're constantly told that talent is the key to success. Work hard, develop your skills, and the world will be yours. But there's a silent killer of dreams that talent cannot overcome, a thief that steals your potential while you watch, and most people never realize they're the victim until it's too late. That killer is the lack of focus. Today, I want to share a story from the ancient mountains of the East. It's a tale of two archers. One was born with a gift that made him a legend. The other had nothing but a bow and a single-minded gaze. By the end of this story, you'll understand why your talent might actually be holding you back, and how one simple shift in your perspective can change your life forever. In a remote village nestled between the mountains, famous for producing the finest warriors in the land, lived two young men named Kaito and Hiro. Kaito was a prodigy. From the moment he was old enough to hold a bow, people knew he was special. He was tall, strong, and possessed a natural grace that left everyone in awe. When he picked up a bow, it looked like an extension of his own body, as if he had been born with it in his hands. He could hit a bullseye while laughing with friends. He could shoot arrows while walking. He could pierce targets that made grown men weep with frustration, and he made it all look effortless. He was the talented one, the golden child, the one the elders whispered about at night. They said he was destined for greatness, destined for the emperor's guard, destined to have his name carved into history. Kaito believed them. Because greatness came so easily to him, he assumed it would always be there, waiting for him whenever he decided to reach for it. Then there was Hiro. Hiro was ordinary, painfully, frustratingly ordinary. He wasn't particularly strong. His arms trembled when he held the heavy oak bow. His aim was inconsistent. His form was imperfect. If you saw him practice, you'd wonder why he even bothered. While Kaito spent his afternoons basking in the praise of the villagers, eating at the best tables, entertaining the daughters of merchants, Hiro was often found alone in the woods. He would stand there for hours, perfectly still, just staring at a single leaf hanging from a branch. Not shooting, not practicing his draw, just staring. The villagers laughed at him. "Why waste your time staring at leaves, Hiro?" they would say. "Kaito can hit a target blindfolded while you haven't even fired an arrow today. You'll never catch up to him." Hiro never replied. He never argued. He never defended himself. He just kept his gaze fixed on that single leaf, as if it held the secrets of the universe. After day, week after week, while Kaito's legend grew, Hiro remained in the forest, silent and still, staring at leaves, at knots in tree bark, at drops of dew on spider webs. The villagers stopped laughing eventually. They just felt sorry for him. One autumn morning, word spread through the village like wildfire. The great master of archery, an elder who had trained the emperor's personal guard for 40 years, had come to select one student for the Imperial Academy. One student, one chance, one opportunity for immortality. Kaito stepped forward first, his bow polished, his robes immaculate, his confidence radiating like the sun. The crowd cheered. This was a formality, they thought. The master would choose Kaito, of course. Then Hiro stepped forward, quiet as always, his simple bow worn from use, his clothes dusty from the forest. The master, a man whose face looked carved from ancient stone, studied them both with eyes that seemed to see through flesh and bone into the soul itself. He said nothing for a long moment. Then he walked to a nearby tree and placed a small wooden bird no larger than a man's fist on a branch nearly 300 yards away. A distance that seemed impossible. A distance where the target was barely visible to the naked eye. Master turned to Kaito. "You first." Kaito bowed, drew his bow with effortless power and took his stance. The crowd fell silent. "Kaito," the master asked, his voice soft but carrying, "before you shoot, tell me, what do you see?" Kaito smiled, that confident smile that had charmed the entire village. "Master," he said, "I see the beautiful morning sun rising over the mountains. I see the green leaves of the forest dancing in the wind. I see the wooden bird perched on that distant branch. And I see the pride in my parents' eyes as I hit this target and bring honor to my family." Master nodded slowly. "Shoot." Kaito pulled back the string. His form was perfect. His muscles coiled like a predator. He released. The arrow flew like lightning, cutting through the air with a whistle. It soared across the impossible distance, straight and true, heading directly for the wooden bird. But just as it reached the tree, just as victory was certain, a slight breeze, barely a whisper, caught the arrow. It missed the bird by an inch, thudding into the trunk with a hollow sound that echoed like a death knell. Kaito stood frozen, his bow lowering slowly, his face a mask of shock and disbelief. Master turned to Hiro. "Your turn." Hiro stepped forward. He didn't look at Kaito. He didn't look at the crowd. He didn't acknowledge the whispers of doubt that rippled through the villagers. He simply stepped into the dirt, raised his worn bow, and knocked his arrow. Hands were steady now. His breathing became slow and rhythmic, like waves against a shore. "Hiro," the master asked, his eyes sharp with interest, "what do you see?" Hiro spoke in a whisper, his eyes locked forward, unblinking. "I do not see the sun, master." Master tilted his head. "Do you see the tree, the branches, the leaves dancing in the wind?" "No," Hiro replied, his voice calm as still water. "I do not see the tree." "Do you see the forest, the mountains, the sky?" "No." "Do you see the crowd, your parents, your future?" "No." Master leaned forward. "Then what do you see, Hiro?" Hiro's voice was barely audible, yet somehow it filled the entire clearing. "I see the eye of the bird, master. Nothing else exists." 3 seconds of perfect silence. Then Hiro released the string. There was no hesitation, no doubt. No second guessing. The arrow left the bow as if it had always been meant to fly, as if this moment had been written in the stars since the beginning of time. It flew across the impossible distance, unwavering, unaffected by the wind that had defeated Kaito. It didn't just hit the wooden bird. It pierced the exact center of the painted eye on the bird's head, splitting the wood with surgical precision. The crowd erupted. Kaito stood speechless. The master smiled for the first time that morning. "Pack your things, Hiro," he said simply. "We leave at dawn." Master turned to the assembled villagers and said something that I want you to remember for the rest of your life. Kaito is a great archer, but he is a slave to the world. Because he sees everything, the sun, the leaves, the praise of others, his mind is divided into 1,000 pieces. When the wind changes, his mind changes. When the crowd doubts, he doubts. He is talented, but he is not free. But Hiro has mastered the power of focus. To him, the obstacles do not exist because he has refused to give them his attention. The wind was always there. Hiro simply chose not to see it. Talent, the master concluded, is a gift, but focus is a choice. That sink in. Focus is a choice. In our modern lives, we are all like Kaito. We want to start a business, but we're looking at the sun, the money we hope to make. We're distracted by the leaves, the competition that seems so much better than us. We're paralyzed by the crowd, what our friends and family will think if we fail. Because our vision is divided, our energy is thin. We try to do everything and end up accomplishing nothing. When you focus on everything, you focus on nothing. The secret to the top 1% isn't that they're smarter or more talented than you. It's that they've trained themselves to see only the eye of the bird. They ignore the wind of social media. They ignore the trees of minor setbacks. They ignore the sun of temporary pleasure. They pick one target, and they don't look away until the arrow flies true. That is the difference between trying and achieving, between dreaming and doing, between talent and mastery. So I ask you today, what is your eye of the bird? What is the one thing that, if you focused on it with everything you have, would change your life? Stop trying to be the most talented person in the room. Instead, strive to be the most focused. Your life follows your gaze. Look at the distractions, and you will be distracted. Look at the goal, and you will become the goal. Stay disciplined, stay focused. Yourself today, what is your eye of the bird? What is the one thing that, if you focused on it with everything you have, would change your life? Stop trying to be the most talented person in the room. Instead, strive to be the most focused. If this story resonated with you, it means your journey toward focus has already begun. Leave a comment below with the word focus if you are ready to stop looking at the forest and start looking at the target. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel for more stories that feed the soul. Remember, your life follows your gaze. Look at the distractions and you will be distracted. Look at the goal and you will become the goal. Stay disciplined, stay focused.